the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. With Tony Marinaro.
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur. Oh!
The sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the spot!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est le dégagement et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Coupe Stanley pour les Canadiens. Le 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together, they worked a young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup!
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. LaBeat.tv. Embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination. It's gonna be sick.
Marinaro, the Sick Podcast on this Tuesday, August 22nd. The Sick Podcast brought to you in part by Playground. Experience the world-renowned poker experience with free food and drinks at their cash game table. Sounds like my kind of place. A bad beat jackpot that is already over $700,000 after the world record-setting amount of $2,590,000 was won back on August the 2nd. Lucky table. Weekly promotions, daily tournaments, unmatched customer service. Why play anywhere else? Located just over the Mercier Bridge. Only minutes from downtown Montreal. It is Playground. Also brought to you in part by La Bitte TB, brewed in Quebec, a winner of a dozen international awards. La Bitte TB offers quality microbrewery beers made with premium ingredients for everyone's taste. La Bitte TB, embrace your true nature. And also brought to you in part by Energy Transportation Group, named by the Financial Times as one of America's fastest growing companies in 2023, recognized by the Globe and Mail as a top growing Canadian company for 2 years in a row. They work with some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies providing end-to-end logistics services. Join a winning team and check out Energy's career page for available opportunities. It was last week, and if memory serves me well, I believe it was on Thursday night that I was joined by Stu Cowan and Pat Hickey of the Montreal Gazette newspaper. I had seen them earlier in the day at a residence where some members of the community in Côte Saint-Luc gather. We had a lot of fun, and we had a chat. And then I said, you know what, guys, let's carry it over to tonight. And we talked about several things, and one of the things we talked about was Logan Mailloux. And Logan Mailloux was a topic of conversation on that particular day. We carried over that night. And Pat Hickey and I think Stu was on the same page. We were saying there's really no rush for Gary Bettman to clear Logan Mailloux and to make him play in the National Hockey League because, you know, he'll make that decision when he knows that Logan Mailloux will play in the National Hockey League. So if the Canadiens say, hey, Gary, he's going to play with us, well, then Gary was going to clear it. We thought it would be a formality at that point. But then again, we're also hearing that when you're cleared for AHL action, you're usually cleared for NHL action. And that's the way it works with the PA. And if they weren't going to clear him, the PA wasn't going to be very happy. And obviously, they were going to fight back on that. Now, whether it was a foregone conclusion or not, whether something was passed in the past couple of days or it was, you know, somebody whispered in somebody's ear, well, Renaud Lavoie of TVA Sport, who's also a contributor on BPM Sport with the morning show with Paul Hud and Gilbert Delarme. Renaud Lavoie told us via Twitter earlier this morning that based on the information that he has, that Gary Bettman has indeed cleared Logan Mailloux. So therefore, that ends all speculation in regards to his future. He's going to be able to play hockey safe and sound and without any problems or repercussions. And I bring in also from TVA Sport, the guy they call Mapper, Marc-André Perreault. What's going on?
It's been a while. I missed you, my friend.
Well, we got the red wall going tonight. We got the red wall going.
You know, depends on how I feel. I'll just... Do you see the kitchen? Because sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Close the drapes. Yeah, close the drapes.
Yeah, the dishwasher is not full yet, so it's a mess here.
Oh, I understand that. Okay, yeah. So where are you right now?
I'm in Longueuil.
You're in Longueuil.
Ready to rock the season.
Vieux
again.
Longueuil or what? Vieux Longueuil,
Yes.
no. Vieux Longueuil.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
cool. Very, very
Where
nice.
are you?
I'm in the beautiful Villa Sal.
Nice.
Waiting for you to drop by to pick up your bit at TB, the case of 12.
Exactly.
Right here next to me, yeah.
Is it still full?
It's full, and I have 12 in the fridge for you. As a matter of fact, you want to pass by tomorrow?
Not impossible. Not impossible.
Tomorrow's my less busy day of the week because I'm, to be totally transparent, I'm going to be pre-recording several topical shows for the Sick Podcast because the plan is I'm scheduled to fly out on Saturday. It can change. I might fly out a couple of days later, but my ticket is for Saturday. Put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you. You deserve it.
So thank you. Look, I've worked year round, even though we had quite some time off on radio and quite some time off on television.
Yeah.
But we wanted to maintain a certain consistency with the podcast, and we did it. And next year, I'd like to take August off. I already told Daniello, I'm giving you a heads up. Next year, in the month of August, I'd like to be off.
My guess is that people don't want to miss those shows that you're gonna pre-record. That's my guess.
There's going to be a couple of dandies. I have to tell you, a couple of dandies. Yeah. As a matter of fact, in a couple of, when is it? Tomorrow, I'll be pre-recording with a former coach of the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't wait to hear from him.
That's going to be really good. All right. Okay. So now, your thoughts on Logan Mailloux?
Yeah, I was quite surprised that you spoke with Pat and Stu saying that there was no rush from the NHL. I think it's a good thing that it's happening, especially before that the names of 2018 Hockey Canada guys,
the junior players,
because we're gonna come back on that culture, sexual culture in hockey, and Logan Mailloux is going to be brought back, his name, and it's I mean it was criminal. He was guilty. He paid his due, but it's always tough to grade offenses, but you can't compare 2018 and what Logan Mailloux did. Now, again, it's criminal, so that's our first.
I know what you're saying. You're treading carefully. A criminal offense is a criminal offense.
Of course.
Even though they're all terrible, there are some that are worse than others.
Well, it's like in life in general, or and that might be too big for an example, but murder or attempted murder, and there are grades, like it or not, there are.
Look, Logan Mailloux's situation, there was mutual consent of a sexual act. All right.
Exactly.
But there was not consent to be photographed. And obviously there wasn't consent for the photograph to be distributed.
Exactly.
And that is a criminal offense. You're right about that. In the case of the 2018 World Junior team, we're talking about a woman who was not in a great state of mind, who was intoxicated.
Exactly.
And wasn't in a frame of mind to stop what was going on, or didn't know what was going on clearly, and probably didn't consent to a lot of what was happening. It just happened because she was out of it, basically, and I'm having a hard time talking about it.
No, I mean it's
terrible.
Bad. It's bad, and to me, it's just weird to keep Logan Mailloux away from the NHL still, and you allowed players to play, and you had the information. Now the report is going to be public soon, I'm guessing, and everything. But anyways,
you get the feeling that they had the information for a very long time, and were covering up the information. And it's really, listen, it's sickening.
let's hope that it took so long because there's so many legal details. Let's hope the NHL, was only maybe a little bit too much careful, but let's hope it's the case. But coming back to Logan Mailloux, he's a young guy, and trust me, and I spoke with a lot of people in the organization. I saw Logan Mailloux, and he is a great kid. I mean, he did mistakes, obviously, but he took how do you say that? Like, he took
responsibility.
He manned up. He did everything he was asked to do. He's polite. Ask Chantal Machabé how polite, how much of a good kid Logan Mailloux is. He's trying to learn French a little bit. He's doing everything right.
What he did, he lacked a lot of maturity, and
of course, he was minor. Let's not forget, in Canada, no one would have known what happened.
Yes,
that was in Sweden, different country, different criminal system, or whatever you call it in English. But anyways, being said,
I did want to say, though, when he said to all the NHL teams, "Don't draft me. I'm not worthy of being drafted, and I have to sit out a year." Basically, and reflect on what I did, and pay the price for my stupid actions. That was a sign of maturity right there.
That was already a sign of maturity. And again, having talked to a lot of people in the organization, having seen him around a little bit, he matured. Like, he could be a leader in that team one day. That being said, I still think at the time it was a mistake to draft him, but they did. I think they did. I think good things came out of this pick. I think
I'm going to say something controversial now, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Go ahead.
Obviously, they were criticized by the entire hockey world, and you didn't have to be a hockey fan to know what was going on. They were criticized from every corner of the world, right? They were criticized by everyone, okay?
Left and right.
And their whole thing was, look, we knew what he did was wrong, but we underestimated the gravity of the incident, and we realized how serious it was.
Because they knew the details.
I'm going to say this.
They knew the details, and probably they underestimated. You're right about it.
I'm not going to tell you that what they said is not true, because I believe what they said. Okay. But I believe the first reason why they drafted him is they thought they were getting a steal at number 31.
And I think it's a fact. And I think that it was a mistake, but now, and in the years coming, because of how much more mature he is, how much of a good kid he is, hopefully I'm right about it, it's gonna be almost a positive thing in the next years, because there's gonna be like learning coming out from it. Like
someone in the organization at the time of this pick told me in a couple of years from now he will replace Shea Weber. That's how big they now replace Shea Weber. They're not saying that he was going to be better than Shea Weber.
Yeah,
I understood what they were saying. They were saying that his package of 6'5", 220 pounds,
exactly.
His shot that is like 105 mile per hour slap shot already. You add some of those tools. You take a look at some of those tools. Those are tools that Weber brought to the table, and that they believe that Mailloux will be able to bring to the table. I don't think Mailloux will be better defensively than Shea Weber was. I don't know if he'll score more goals in his best season than Shea Weber did, but he does have hands.
But let's not forget one thing, and I've been told last year that he's the best prospect in defense.
I think so. I think he's the most complete.
I think so. But now you're talking about his defensive weakness. I know it's been brought up on your podcast
Yeah.
in the last few months. Let's not forget one thing.
I
Before,
didn't say it's defensive weakness. I said I don't think he'll be as good defensively as Shea
No,
Weber. He was
I mean-
one of the best defensive defensemen we've seen in the
Yeah,
National
but-
Hockey League in a very long time.
well, hold on. In the new NHL, Shea Weber, I'm not sure he would have been that efficient.
You're
But-
right.
And
You're
I'm
right.
not taking shot at Shea Weber. I have a ton of respect, and he played the game
Yes.
in his era.
He was always good. He was better in an era where where the red line was still in, and trapping was more prevalent.
And you could he could break his stick on people's back, and anybody who's seen the Stanley Cup run in 2021, I mean, it was hurting only by watching Charrot him giving and Edmondson giving cross checks in the back. So anyways, but my point is, of course, Logan Mailloux, he has weakness. He's 20 years old, and before last year, he only had 16 OHL game under his belt for different reasons, but that's not a lot. So
no.
Okay, he was old last year in the OHL, and it was 53 points in 59 games, but there was a growth in his game.
Yeah.
Playoffs, he was a stud.
There's no perfect hockey player. Connor Bedard's not perfect either. We can watch his game and watch his shifts, and we can dissect a few things. I mean, he's close to
Of
perfect.
course.
I get it, but
but
not too many perfect hockey players.
My point is, let's look at the package deal you have from Logan Mailloux. On top of that, he's more mature, and the only thing I'm hoping, and it scares me a little bit, is the trash talk, and this story is gonna be brought up. He's gonna play one day, I don't know, in LA, and some journalists will, bring this back. How will he react?
Well, it's gonna follow him forever, Mapper. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. It'll follow him forever.
Yeah.
I
think he's ready for that.
It's up to him now to be able to make a positive out of what was a huge negative several years ago. So that will follow him forever. But in terms of on the ice, Mapper, in terms of, I don't know if you're getting to trash talking on the ice. I mean, what are people going to say to him? So you took a picture? I mean, I don't.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. But the sentence, it was what I wanted to say earlier, saying that in the long run, I think it's going to be a lot of positive will come out from this story, because people have learned. Well, he did learn.
It has to. There has to be.
That's what we're hoping.
Because or else the Montreal Canadiens, because don't forget, there were a lot of people and sponsors at the time that wanted the Canadiens to part ways with him.
Rightly so.
And they decided to hold on to him. And when you make that decision to hold on to him, at that point, you really have to get him involved in the community. You really have to get him involved in speaking engagements. You really have to raise awareness.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that he goes through the proper counseling and therapy and all that stuff.
He did all that
to become a better person. He
did all that. So at one point, we really have to ask ourselves, do we give second chance in life? That's I mean, he did mistake, paid, did everything he was asked to. He's a good person now, good kid, polite. I've seen him in Brossard at the camp a few weeks ago. All these kids around him, he was smiling. He signed autographs until there was no kids left. So now, what do you want more?
If families of victims who died have forgiven those who committed the act and said, I'm willing to give you a second chance in life, then you would think that, there should be a second chance. Now, obviously, if you're related to the victim, you have an attachment to the victim.
But,
I mean, it's hard to forgive anybody, but
let's just hope she's do you say in peace? Like she's okay.
She's at peace. Yeah.
At peace. Yeah. So
she's turned
obviously
the page. She's been able to forget it.
First thoughts are going to her, and that's obvious. And everybody, I think, you have to be stupid to not hope she's okay, obviously.
Yeah.
But then It's in our criminal system.
Yeah.
Second chances are
it's tough
possible.
to talk about stuff like this, you know that, because there's always going to be someone who's still going to be, and we talked about wanting to trade him. There are going to be others still today who are going to say, you know what, the Montreal Canadiens need to trade him. And I have an opinion, and I'll probably get criticized for it, but you know what? It's how I feel, so I might as well just say it. I think if the Canadiens were to trade Logan Mailloux now, they would be abandoning a kid on his path to rehabilitation. They'd be letting him down.
They won't do it, because if they had to do it, it would have been done
it would have been done already
months ago. Now he's now a good person. He's been doing everything again. He's a good prospect. His potential is off the chart. So
yeah,
I mean, now it's too late to do anything else than giving him a chance to be a good player in the NHL with the Montreal Canadiens.
But you don't think he's going to make the team out of camp, do you?
No, not this year. Not this year, because again, he did not play enough hockey in the like big hockey, good hockey in the last years. Again, 16 games before last year's 59. 21 games playoff. He needs to have. Do you say that mileage in English?
Of course.
So, yeah, he needs reps. So AHL.
Yeah,
that's what he needs. To me, it's a no-brainer.
You can't skip steps in your development process. You can't. I mean, we saw Alex Galchenyuk enter the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Even as the third pick overall, Alex had missed a year of junior hockey, of course, because of
with his knee,
the ACL injury, right?
Yeah,
and missing an entire year
of
junior hockey and arriving in the National Hockey League at 18. Look, this past year, Slafkovsky was the only one who played the amount of games that he played in the National Hockey League, who was a regular National Hockey League player before going down with that injury. Other players played a handful of games, and a lot of other ones who were drafted in the first round didn't play at all. I want to give a shout out to Murphy Clinic, if I can, an aesthetic clinic specializing in medical aesthetic care. They offer permanent laser hair removal, as well as they can get rid of the hair on your ears, Mapper, as well as a wide range of treatments for skin problems such as acne, rosacea, fine lines, and more. They currently have 2 clinics, one located in Montreal, Shop Angus, and the second on the North Shore in Terrebonne. They're also opening soon in Quebec Cité. Visit murphyclinic.ca or on Instagram at Murphy Clinic. Okay, so with that said, today is August 22nd, and Pro Camp will be in less than a month from now, and of course, the regular season will start in the month of October. If the season were to start tonight, who would be on defense for the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, Savard, Goulet, Jordan Harris, Kovacevic will be with the club, Justin Barron. But if I'm Justin Barron, I'm starting to be worried a lot about Logan Mailloux. So Justin Barron, but and I'm not taking a shot at Justin Barron.
I don't think he has to be worried because they're not going to give up on Barron. David Savard,
no.
David Savard won't be here long term.
What I wanted to say is, if I'm a young right D in the Montreal Canadiens, I'm looking Logan Mailloux in the rear mirror,
there's a lot more congestion at left D though, Barron.
Yeah, but that was not a shot at Justin Barron. I was just saying that if I'm a young right D, So, but it's gonna be interesting.
So where do you see Gustav Lindstrom?
I don't know. He's probably gonna have his chance. Where do you put Kovacevic? Where is he?
So is Kovacevic on the second pairing or third pairing?
I mean, hopefully third. Kovacevic, he's a very good. He's a good person. Let's start with that.
He'd be an excellent number 6. He'd be an excellent number 6.
You know what? Yes, I was about to say he would be an excellent 6.5. So you understand where I'm going with that. But yeah.
You know why I asked?
He's a third pairing guy.
Because, I mean, ever since the Canadiens acquired Gustav Lindstrom, of course, in that deal for Jeff Petrie, everyone has an opinion whether, where Gustav Lindstrom is going to be in the lineup or out of the lineup. I see Lindstrom starting as a third pairing defenseman. But then again, I can see the case for those who see him as a second pairing defenseman. I can see the case.
We'll see.
But we shall play a lot better than he played in Detroit, though.
Well, I mean, it was not tough to play bad with Detroit last year, so let's keep that in mind. Well, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Good battles coming for the top 3 spots in D. So yeah, but I can't see Logan Mailloux in the NHL
last season. A lot of people said, there were people who said, okay, the Montreal Canadiens had a terrible year. Okay, the Montreal Canadiens finished 5th last. But if you take a look at the man games that they lost, about 700 man games, if you cut that down by 66% or so, it's feasible to win a couple of games per month. And if you do, you're knocking on the door for a playoff spot. So now, having changed some of their athletic therapists and strength and conditioning coaches, you would think that they're going to be less injured. At least that's their hope, than they were a year ago. Another year under their belt for what is already a young team. Mm-hmm. You expect all the young players to play better. My question to you is, and it's still early, and your opinion can change when they drop the puck to start the regular season, but can you see the Canadiens getting in?
No, not yet. But you're saying, and it's it should be obvious that after your first year you're better. But let's not forget the second year is probably the toughest in the NHL. What is
Sophomore jinx.
Sophomore jinx. I mean, Arbor Jackeye, if he's just as good as last year, would be a huge accomplishment. So that's let's wait and see. I don't think Montreal is ready for playoff this year. I don't think so. I don't see them getting in the picture. I'm not sure it would be a good thing. That's pretty stupid what I'm saying, but let's walk before running. And I know Kent Hughes is very patient. I think his plan is so structured. I don't think he sees his team in the playoff yet, according to his plan. That's my guess. I might be wrong. Maybe obviously at the golf tournament, he's going to say, we hope to make the playoff, blah, blah, blah. And but I'm not sure in his plan. It's you have to make the playoff next.
Well, did you hear a couple of weeks ago when he said, if I take a look at our team on paper, I don't think we're at that point yet of making the playoffs this year, but the game is played on the ice. Exactly. And it can happen.
Yeah.
Now, he took a look at, he was saying Boston, Tampa Bay, and Toronto aren't going anywhere. But you know what? Is Boston not going anywhere? Boston lost a lot of pieces.
The biggest mistake, when you're stupid, you do the same thing and you expect a different outcome. So I'm stupid because it's been years. For the last few years, I've put Buffalo ahead of Boston in the standings. I hate myself. I know it's.
I hate you too.
But
hold on a second. Let me give you a spruce here. There. Poof. Wake up.
Yeah, man. I know. But you know what? I forgive myself because when you do prediction, at the start of this season, everybody they're so how do you say that, conservative?
Yeah, conservative. Yes.
So I'm like, let's try something. Let's try to put Buffalo in the playoff picture for once in 100 years. And again, it's not happening, and no. I hate myself.
But the culture isn't there yet. But I have to tell you, though, Rasmus Dahlin took strides this past year, and Power's coming too.
Yeah.
They were knocking on the door. They were a couple of points out last year, but at the same time,
they started so good.
The one team that missed the playoffs last year that I see them getting in, even though they're getting older, I think they got one more semi-push in them. Semi-push is Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh will get in this time, I think.
I think so. But what about Boston? What do you think?
Boston is...
For you thought like it was a sure shot in the playoffs?
Boston's going to drop a lot.
Well, at
look
one
at the
point,
guys they lost.
Well, you lost your captain. You lost Pasternak. Exactly. But I mean,
What do you
can
mean,
you
Pasternak?
expect?
Where's Pasternak going?
Sorry,
I've been hiding.
Krejci,
David Krejci. You got me nervous for a second there. What was it doing?
Sorry, Krejci.
Yeah.
But the goaltending situation, do you think they are going to be as good as they were? It's impossible, pretty much. They were so good. So
Orlov
what are you expecting?
I liked Orlov a lot.
He was great. Playoff, he was great.
And now he's a Carolina Hurricane after being a Washington Capital, then a Boston Bruin. Now he's a Carolina Hurricane. I like Orlov a lot.
Yeah.
You want to know who else is a big loss?
Nick Foligno, for me, is a big loss.
Nick Foligno can't skate anymore. Stop.
Why? Did you watch the games first round?
No, me, I don't watch the games. I play darts for a living. I play darts, then I come on, I do the podcast. I don't watch games, me.
Oh, that you're insulted now?
No, I'm not. I actually, I don't insult very easily. I take shots at you. You can take shots at me. I have no problem. You know who didn't think Nick Foligno was very good either? His coach, because he left him out for Game 7. Mind you, he didn't win it, but I'm not so sure that Nick Foligno would have made. No, the name I was going to give you was Tyler Bertuzzi.
Tyler Bertuzzi is a huge loss.
There's a player, my friend, on his way to the Toronto Maple
Leafs. You know what?
You know what? I would have scooped him up. I would have put him on a line with Caulfield and Suzuki. Away par là, mon chum. Away par là.
I'm not sure he is, and I'll put. Do you say that? I'll put white gloves. Do you say that in English?
Yeah.
I'm not sure he is.
Say it. Just say it. This is a podcast where we say things.
No. I'm just not sure. You build around a core that includes Tyler Bertuzzi. I think
he doesn't have to be part of your core. He's a great complementary player.
Yes, but he's
nothing wrong
young.
with
that. I'm not saying it.
Hey, this guy here. He goes to the front of the net. He's got a good stick. He deflects pucks. He plays with aggression.
I mean, while you were playing darts, I was watching the Boston series, and he was awesome.
Actually, my pastime, if I can, is not darts. But you want to know what it is? When I got some free, but besides actually going out on my Vespa, which is unbelievable. XL Moto, by the way, and xlmoto.com, 5480 Paris. That's where I got the only place in Montreal to get yourself a Vespa. I'm part of the Vesperonis group, by the way. You know what I do when I have some time? And I'm not watching sports.
Oh.
I play checkers all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I play golf, and I hit my irons like that.
You see, I'm going to tell you why I don't play golf, okay? And a lot of people do, and I understand it's a great neck.
That was Miguel Angel Jimenez, by the way.
Yes, I know. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? Be honest with me.
Yeah.
When you play golf,
yes,
how much do you have to travel to get there?
I mean, it's
give or take 30 minutes.
No, you crazy? I play in Abitibi where I'm.
No, but
from.
you don't always play at the same course. You go around. Let's just say.
No. I'm very
loyal.
Fidèle.
Okay. So 20 minutes to get to golf.
Max.
Perfect. Okay. So another 20 minutes to get back. All right. So that's 40. Perfect. 18 holes without kicking the ball forward with your foot there and playing regular, and you're playing with 3 of your buddies. Your game's going to last how long?
4:30. Yeah.
4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So now 4.5 hours plus 30 minutes to go and come back. No, pardon me. Let's just say 30 minutes, 15 minutes to go, 15 minutes to come back.
Yeah.
That's so now it's 5 hours. Okay. Yes. So minimum 5 hours. And there's a possibility that you probably stay and you have a couple of pints with your buddies. Okay.
Yeah.
But let's just say minimum 5 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
When I have 5 free hours of my day, I stay home and make love.
I mean, that's a good. It's a good plan A, but
just saying, you know what I mean?
But I've read something that screen time for kids is 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
9 hours a day.
Yeah.
So you can take that 5 or 6 hours and instead of watching your cell phone and look like a lemming on your couch or whatever. And you walk, it's outside, you're having fun.
Et maintenant, c'est toi.
Life is
Et
good.
maintenant, c'est toi. Et moi, c'est tout. You know what it means? Et moi, c'est tout. In French, it's maintenant, c'est toi.
Maintenant, c'est moi quoi?
Man, I don't know. It's just the thing. That's the way I translated it. What do you want me to tell you?
I
wrote Emoji 2 on Google Translate. It gave me a maintenant c'est toi. So I wrote a shirt. I made a shirt. Et maintenant c'est toi. Here he is. Emoji 2 mo.
Okay.
Yeah.
But golf is great. Golf, you're outside, you're walking, you're having fun, you're working on
you're
working on
you're right.
this
35
here.
degrees outside, sweating, carrying a bag.
I mean, you're spraying water on
13
you
or 14
to make
clubs, putting it on your back and walking 7,000 yards. It's fantastic.
I'll tell you something.
No, the exercise is great. No, listen, from a networking perspective, I think it's amazing.
No golf, no job for me in life. Taught me so much. Okay.
I believe you. No, I'm kidding aside. I'm kidding when I say stuff like that. So look, we all have my pastime that I've picked up lately is riding the scooter with my buddies. And we meet in Lachine. We go all the way up Notre Dame. We make our way into downtown Montreal. From there, we go into Old Montreal. From Old Montreal, we go all the way up St. Lawrence, make our way to Little Italy, go have a coffee at one of the finer establishments, go have a Roman sliced pizza at another fine establishment, and we ended off at Joe from Marche Tanya, where we have watermelon, cherries, peaches, and ricotta cannolis made by his wife, Rosie.
It takes you more than 5 hours to do all that.
I don't know. I'm not counting, but maybe just. But it's Sunday. Sunday's a day off. Sunday's a day off. All right, my man. Hey, this was a lot of fun. It's the summer, and I've mentioned this before. And during the summer, not every podcast is going to be an hour, and we're going to limit it. And so today, I think we're going, give or take, we're going about 40 minutes or so.
All right. Yeah, sounds good to me.
About 40 minutes or so.
It was nice talking
So they're not
to
making the playoffs?
I don't think so. Just on the edge, just
10th?
enough to have a good pick.
Well, just on the edge. If you're on the edge, you're not getting a good pick.
Well, you never know.
You want to get a good pick, you got to be in the top 5. And even this year at 5, I'm not so sure.
No, top 10. You have a chance.
They passed on Michkov, my friend. They passed on Michkov.
And Daniel Brière said right after the draft that...
And you love Daniel Brière. He's a good friend of yours.
Let's say we have a very good relationship. And he said that he was exceptional in his meetings with the Flyers and blah, blah, blah. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see how it's going to end up. But I can't wait to see what's coming for the Flyers. And
this whole Michkov situation. We've talked about it ad nauseum this summer. I have a feeling we're going to talk about this for the next decade.
Of course.
And that's the beauty of our job. And that's why there's still always work, even though it's less than ever before. Mind you, the Sick Podcast is hiring. Yeah.
Just to be honest, Daniel Brière is because he's from the same region as I was living for the last year. So that's why we know each other.
Oh, the same region. It's not like I thought you guys were Facebook friends or something, or pen pals or whatever. No, Facebook.
Oh, I'm not giving my sources, but yeah. Let's keep
same
it
region,
there.
All right, okay. I had a pretty good relationship when he was here with the Montreal Canadiens. And you know what? You just gave me an idea talking about this. I think I'm going to send him a note and say, hey, can I get you on the Sick Podcast? I'd love to have him on.
I mean, he is one of the sharpest person in the business. I've been in the business for the last 10 years. And, he's in the same league as Fred Gaudreau, Pécoriné, Sidney Crosby, these good persons. I mean, Daniel Brière, he's a special person. So I'm sure he would be happy to
I'm going to cut this clip right now saying Daniel Brière is a special person. I'm sure he'd be happy to send it. I'm going to send it to him, and I'm going to say, Marc-André Perreault told me that you're willing to come on my podcast. So when you want to come on? That's the way we're going to do it. Thanks, man. You have a great night, okay?
See everyone.
All right, there you have it. Marc-André Perreault of TVA Sport. What a guy. I'm Marinaro. And if you like the Sick Podcast tonight, like and share with your friends. Comment Sick, S-I-C-K, S-I-C-K, S-I-C-K. And if you're going to listen to us on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review. It's our way of feeling the love. For Shane Gaumont and Master Control, he's Gaumont. I'm Marinaro. Et maintenant, c'est toi. Sick Podcast.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow The Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. La Vida TB. Embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination.